Unites the kingdom. That was the message in Tommy Robinson's electric rally in central London today. Well, I went down to the rally to speak to those attending, asking them what has inspired them to attend today. What do they make of some media outlets calling them far right, as well as their reaction to the assassination of Charlie Kirk?
I'm here in the heart of London today, where Tommy Robinson's free speech rally is well underway. They've shut down this entire central part of London here, right by Waterloo train station. There are thousands of people here. You can see flags from across the country. You've got the Welsh flag. St George's Cross is very prominent today, the Union Jack. Of course, for the first time I'm seeing American flags here, and flags depicting Charlie Kirk, of course the assassinated right-wing conservative activist in America. I've been out and about here today talking to ordinary people about why they're here, what they hope to achieve by being here, and what they think the big issues facing the country are.
Look at that sea of flags. That shot simply just doesn't do justice to the sheer scale of attendance. I know some figures have quoted 100,000, 110,000, but it was definitely far beyond that. I would say hundreds of thousands of people, maybe more to come on that, but let's see the next clip.
What brought you here today?
What's brought me here today? The state of our country being run into the ground by these lefties. You know, I mean, just take a look around you. People of Great Britain are here. United, we are. All right, no, we are right. Close our borders, start deporting, put our people first. Well, you know, people were gloating and cheering that he was shot. You know, he was a lovely man, that fella. You know, I mean, I watched him on TV News when Ben was interviewing him. You know, it's terrible what they've done. We're being run out of our own country now, courtesy of the liberal left. You know.
You know what really surprised me was the sheer volume of young people attending this event, all of whom said to me they are worried about the future of their country, and specifically, quite interestingly, many of them were asking where their tax money is going.
I believe that we should, as the taxpayer, we should spend our money sensibly. We should not be giving it to people who haven't earned anything. But why should people dock up and get more than your average person who has paid into the system? It's just not fair. It's not fair. And I believe, you know, and I'll just take this time right now to say rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, and may God be with him, because he is a lovely man.
Yes, many people pointed to their patriotism as their reason for being there, and a sense that free speech is under attack.
So obviously patriotism, Alex, obviously just to unite the United Kingdom. I think as well, a lot of it now is a lot of people turning up because of what happened to Charlie Kirk the other day. I think it's galvanised the United Kingdom. Obviously we're seeing the government not representing the working class people. I think there's a narrative going around globally now, a left-aligned narrative that people start waking up to. It's the demonstration of free speech, whether it be written or spoken, and I think the Charlie Kirk thing says everything we need to know. That man did nothing violent. He never, if he wound people up, that's one thing, and if you don't like what he says, that's one thing. But to kill a man because of his words, same in the United Kingdom, we're seeing people locked up, we're seeing people censored, we're seeing the restrictions. People who are in the media, who know this stuff, who are in social media, see the restrictions that are coming in place, the censorship, and I think people have had enough of it. They've had enough of it. They're wrong. This is not far right. We've got women here, children here, grandparents, like I said earlier, all colours, races and creeds. Everybody's here standing up for the United Kingdom. Everybody's united together. And the bottom line, if they want to call us far right, fine, we're all far right. I think you could then classify the entire nation as far right. This is working class people, elderly, young, we've got kids around here, they're all enjoying themselves, all having fun.
Hello, I'm Bev Turner. Now, it can feel like the money in our bank accounts at the moment does not keep up with the cost of living, and maybe there's a solution. I'm here today with the CEO of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. Cameron, what is TallyMoney?
Well, Bev, with TallyMoney, you get a current account and a debit card, but instead of pounds, you use milligrams of gold as your everyday money.
So why gold?
Gold traditionally is a great store of value. It has, on average, gone up at over 11% per annum for the last 25 years against the pound. It's tripled in value in the last decade. And in the last 2 years alone, it's increased by 50% against the pound. Banks' savings products just can't compete with that level of growth.
But this isn't just about gold. This is about a currency that you guys have created at TallyMoney. Explain it to me as though I'm an idiot.
So, look, people need to be able to hold their earnings and build their savings in a money that retains its value and remains in their legal control and remains theirs to access, away from government control.
Great. You had me at not exposed to government control.
You should feel safe and happy with your money. You should have peace of mind the more money you see in your bank balance, and that's the type of thing we're trying to deliver, and give people choice in the type of money they get to use every day.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Cameron. Thank you.
Yes, Britain is broken. Words I heard often. Many people pointing to the judiciary and policing of the country as one of their biggest issues.
Britain is broken with everything. The courts, the police, the colleges, the universities, the immigration. Don't mind
Stop the boats! Stop the boats!
Don't mind migrants coming as long as they're legal. I want to know what kind of people are coming in. Have they got a criminal record? Are we safe? And also, I don't want us to turn into an Islamic state. I'm not far right, I'm just right. I love the diversity, but I don't want it taking over our country with the laws.
This wasn't just an English event. It really was a British event. People travelled from all over the United Kingdom, Tameside, Devon, Glasgow, even parts of Wales.
Come from down in Devon, South Devon, Exmouth. We thought it was our right. We have to make a stand. So we want to show our support.
And how long's it taken you to get down here?
Oh, we've come on the coach. Actually, we didn't get held up. It's all gone very smoothly, and we're so pleased we're part of it, because this is going to be a very historical day.
Of course, we can't talk about this rally without looking at similar rallies. The pro-Gaza rallies, of course, have sparked major anti-Semitism concerns amongst Brits, many of whom attended the Unite the Kingdom event.
I'm a British citizen. I stand for British values. Stand here to wake up Britain and Brits, stand for our values. We're going to lose them if we don't. It'd be a funny thing to call me far right. Is that right?
And what's the biggest issue facing the United Kingdom today?
I think it starts with anti-Semitism. If we don't deal with this, they always come from the Saturday first and then the Sunday.
Well, perhaps my largest and biggest takeaway was this. I never saw a single act of violence, anything that led me to believe these people were in any way so-called fascists, far-right, or indeed any other slurs thrown at these protesters by many in the media and the left. The sense that Britain is broken is a common thread, not just of those who felt bold enough to show up at that event today, but now it seems across the entire country. I want to bring in my brilliant panel in just a moment, but I want to bring you some breaking news before we get to them. The Met Police has said 26 of its officers have been injured in these protests today. It said while both protests began largely without incident, it is deeply regrettable that a number of those who were part of the Unite the Kingdom protest became involved in disorder in multiple locations. The force added that it has arrested 25 arrests for offences including affray, violent disorder, assault and criminal damage. Now, listen, before we get back to the part, I want to say one more thing off the back of that. Violence, as we have just seen over the last week, is not the answer to solving your political woes. If you are one of the very, very small amount of people that committed a violent act today, shame on you. Shame on you for the hundreds of thousands of people that showed up there to protest peacefully. You do a disservice to their entire political cause, OK? I just want to make that point. Well, let's get the thoughts of my fantastic panel, shall we? Westminster City Councillor for Reform UK, Layla Cunningham, journalist and broadcaster Linda Jubilee, political commentator Matthew Stadland. Matthew, I'll start with you. Because, of course, we have seen across many outlets today people calling these guys far right who attended this. You know, when I was there, I saw children, people from all different races and ethnic backgrounds, people from across the entire country. And I think Bruce, who was one of the people I interviewed, made a good point. He said, if we're calling all of us far right today, then the whole country is far right. What do you make of that?
What I make of it is that I can't speak for or judge the 110,000 people who were there, which you say was many more, but with all due respect, Alex, I'm going to take the official estimates.
Fine, that's
and I've seen the pictures, and there certainly were a lot of people. I've been to Wembley many times, and if you disgorged Wembley onto one long avenue, 90,000 people looks like a lot of people, and it is a lot of people. And I was rather disheartened by the fact that there were at least 110,000 people on that march. And I'll tell you why, Layla, since you want to jump in. Tommy Robinson certainly and unequivocally is a far-right activist, and he is someone that your leader, because I believe you're now a Reform councillor, is that correct?
You know that's correct. We were on the show 2 days
Just want
ago.
to check. Your leader, because you're asking me why I think that Tommy Robinson, why I was disappointed that so many people came on that show. Nigel Farage was asked earlier this year what he thought of Tommy Robinson. And Nigel Farage, by the way, and I disagree on very many things, and he is miles away from where I am and miles to the right of where I am. But he was unequivocal. He said that he does not want Tommy Robinson joining Reform, and Tommy Robinson will not join Reform. So while I won't judge everyone on that march, and you were out there doing the journalism, and good for you for doing it, I will say that the people who went on that march went on it knowing that the main organiser of that march was a far-right activist and someone who Nigel Farage, who could possibly be the next Prime Minister of this country, doesn't want anywhere near his party or Layla's party.
Layla?
I agree. Nigel Farage and myself, I'm not going to comment on Tommy Robinson, but what I am saying is what I'm hearing from the people there. One of the younger people were talking about taxes, and we all feel it. We have the highest tax burden since World War II, and we're not getting anything for it. Public services are the worst they've been. I don't mind paying taxes if I see police, if I can get an NHS doctor, if I can get good schools, if I can get secure borders, but I'm not getting any of that. And then to laugh in the face of young people, you have both parties saying we're the party of home ownership, especially the Conservatives, and they don't build homes. You've got NIMBYism going on in every constituency that there's a Conservative MP. They don't build half enough homes.
Yeah, and Linda, again, the sense of feeling I get from the people that I spoke, and of course I couldn't put all of the people I interviewed on there, which is always a shame because I know people want to get their interviews out on the TV, but from the sense of almost like a sorrow for the country at this moment in time. And do you know what? There was very brief, if any, mention of Tommy Robinson by the people there. It seemed to me that a lot of them people were there because they believed in something was deeply wrong, and this was the only way they could show it.
I can say that you would call Tommy Robinson far right. That's fair enough. But what I think happens here is that when this is reported, and I've heard far right mentioned in several packages and news pieces throughout the day, what that is lazy journalism. That is simply taking a label that you find accessible and applying it to your report when you haven't actually gone out on the ground and found out who is there. Now, what I can say is in my little town, I live in a small market town on the Thames, many people went to that protest. They told me they were going in the week. They're not going in a way to make a political statement, one way or the other. They're going there because they feel disenfranchised, because they feel shortchanged, because they feel a sense of fear and a sense of worry in this country. Hang on one moment, and then they go out on the protest and they want their voices to be heard. And this is people, in my town there are little coffee shops, charity shops. These are people, Guardian readers. You would not expect them to be there, but they were.
OK, just to come back on that. So, as I say, I'm not saying that everyone on that march was far right. What I am saying is that I would like the boats to stop. They're very dangerous, and we do need to have borders. And I'm also very strongly against anti-Semitism as a half-Jewish person myself and the grandson of Jewish refugees from the Holocaust. I wouldn't have gone on that march. I wouldn't have gone on that march for two main reasons. One, because it was organised by Tommy Robinson, who is unequivocally a far-right activist. Two, because I don't feel insecure about my Englishness or my Britishness. I'm extremely proud of both.
Got nothing
and
to do
I'll give you one other quick example. The pro-Palestine marchers that went out. I have thought and argued very strongly against the response to the horrific attacks of October the 7th, the terrorist atrocities on October the 7th. I've argued very strongly that Israel's response, the way it has gone about it, is wrong.
We're not talking
and I've been very strong about it. But I would never have gone on one of those marches. Let me just make the point. I would never have gone on one of those marches because I knew that on those marches, some of the people I would be marching alongside would have been Hamas supporters.
That's fair enough. But you wouldn't, but many people did. And they did it with the best of intentions and with good hearts.
You'll notice...
I think you have to agree with that. Don't apply your opinions because you're just validating your position.
I'm very clear. I don't think they should have gone on a march organised by a far-right organiser.
Let me just bring Labour in, please.
You'll notice how one of the people who attended called it the liberal left, right? He didn't say any slurs. He just called it as it is, the liberal left. What were the anti-protesters calling it? They were calling them fascist scum. And what I read today in The Independent, they were calling it the anti-fascist protest. When you label people fascists, it just radicalises them.
Do you think Tommy Robinson is far right?
I'm not here to comment.
But I'm asking, well, why not? We're talking about a Tommy Robinson organised march because your leader, Nigel Farage, who wants to be next Prime Minister, has been very, very clear. He's probably far right.
Matthew, you're going to interrupt me.
You've interrupted every time I've spoken. So if you're asking me a question, then let me respond.
I've actually got to listen, both of you. On that note, I actually have to wrap it up there, unfortunately, before we get into more debates because we will have to move on. But it's so lovely to see so many of you.